Well, our next guest served in the Air Force Reserves for nearly 15 years and deployed 4 times. And when the COVID vaccine mandates came out, he submitted a religious exemption to refuse the vaccine, but was denied several times.
The technical sergeant says after exhausting all means to avoid taking the vaccine, he still refused to comply. Now, eventually, he says he was asked to leave the Air Force. President Trump is now looking to make things right for those military members who were dismissed over COVID vaccine refusal. Trump signing an executive order to reinstate all military members who refused the COVID vaccine. David Mashura Jr. is an Air Force technical sergeant. He's with us now. Sergeant, tell us more about your story. Thank you for coming on, for shedding light on what exactly happened to so many military members over that period in time when, they were willing to risk everything for America. And America really turned their back on all of you.
Yeah, we definitely felt betrayed after the fallout of all that, for sure. I joined the United States Air Force Reserve in 2007. I graduated top of my class at Air Force Technical Training School, earning the Distinguished Graduate Award, and then served honorably for 15 years with integrity. And so when the mandates rolled out, like you mentioned, I submitted the religious exemption, which was denied. I appealed that, and that was denied. During that time, I was subjected to frequent COVID testing, segregation from my squadron, all the gaslighting, all the bold-faced lies about how safe and effective this was. And, so we went through that, and it was a hard time. In March of 2022, I was called into my commander's office, and after 15 years, again, like I said, serving honorably with integrity, I was asked not to return. So I felt betrayed. I felt, I was being shunned. And we went through financial challenges during that time. I lost my health care insurance that my family and I were on, lost my military pay, of course, and my eligibility for retirement.
And so, yeah, as you learned this, and over time, obviously, it took some time. President Trump comes back in office. He puts out this EO, and he says, "Look, anyone that was fired or let go because they refused the COVID-19 vaccine, they would be reinstated, and they would also be given back pay." What was your reaction to that?
Yeah. Let me back up and say thank you for having me, by the way, and giving me a voice, or rather giving us a voice. I'm also very thankful for what President Trump is doing. This is incredible. This executive order is hopefully the first step to get the ball rolling and to make all of the wrongdoings right again. It's great to see a true leader back in the White House, a man with a spine and a backbone who cares about the American people. And this executive order is just another example of promises made and promises kept. So very grateful for that and what's going on. Yeah.
Would you go back if the military would have you? Would you go back to your position?
Yeah, so that's the million-dollar question. I can't give a definitive answer, and because I have a lot of questions that are unanswered, I know there's many, many like me too. I'm not sure exactly who this executive order encompasses. It lists about 8,000. I think it mentions 8,000 service members, but the reality is there's many, many more who were negatively affected. So when I was forced out, I was looking at 5 more years to retirement. So if I were still in, I'd be looking at 2 years of retirement right now, right? And I'd also be a master sergeant. So, if I go back in, and what happens to those 3 years? Are they credited to me, or do I have to make them up? I doubt they're going to hand me a promotion, first day back in, but that's a question I'd like answered. Also, when I was forced out, I went down to the VA, like many, many other service members who were forced out, and we filed VA claims for injuries sustained during our time in service. And now I'm labeled a disabled veteran. Am I even eligible to return? So there's a lot of questions that we would like answered before we can make, an informed decision on that. Would I love to go back to the military and serve in uniform again? Absolutely, I would.
Yeah, no, you bring up a great point, and we've interviewed, I believe it was a Green Beret that came on and had some of the same questions that you did. There are some gray areas to this, not just the 8,000, but maybe the others that left on their own accord through their own decisions. Would they be, because they did so because of refusing the vaccine, would they also be able to receive the back pay or join again? And what does that mean with all that time lost, the training, by the way, for many of you? A lot of questions still remain on there, but ultimately moving forward to try to make something that was wrong by a previous administration right during this current administration. Hey, is it true you were deployed with your brother to the United Arab Emirates when COVID-19 broke out? Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, yes, it is true. So I personally went on 4 deployments during my career, 2 combat deployments to Iraq, 1 to Kuwait, and then my last one to United Arab Emirates with my brother Josiah there, who also refused the COVID vaccine and was forced out in a similar manner like myself. That was actually the time that COVID broke out, so they actually ended up extending our orders overseas. We ended up staying there for a couple extra months. And during the lockdowns and all those travel restrictions and whatnot, it was a little bit. It was interesting. It was interesting to say the least. My brother and I, we kind of. It was great that we were together. I'll put it that way. It certainly helped.
What are you doing now?
So right now, I co-own and co-operate a small business with my wife. It's called Lox & Company, LOX, Lox & Company. Quite simply put, we make hair care, skin care, and beard care using all natural ingredients.
That's awesome. How can we support you? How can our viewers support you in your endeavors now?
Thank you so much for bringing that up. They can go to our website, loxandcompany.com, loxandcompany.com, and just check out our website. That'd be super helpful. Thank you so much.
David Mashura Jr. joining us again, one of those that tried to get a religious exemption to not take the COVID-19 vaccine while he was in the military. He was denied several times, even after an appeal, and ultimately forced out. We appreciate that. We appreciate your service, sir, and we hope some good news for you and your family.
Thank you for your service, sir.
Thank you so much.